okay? We have people on the board of the Historical Society that walks their dogs around. They use the yards of other people, don't clean it up. I mean, why have I got to be punished causing my house to go up in taxes, insurance? And then if anybody wants to buy my house and the city of Beaumont purchase it, and I'll get out. Okay? Have a great day.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Donna Lindsay.
Just a minute. Hi, my name is Donna Lindsay. I live on 391 Carla Street, and I bought this house through government help back in '98. So I've been there a little over 12 years. I was glad to be able to move into the property. It was a great fixer-upper. That's why I bought it. And then things happened to me to where I can no longer work. I'm on disability now. And not only that, I've had the past year, while a lot of this stuff has been going on about the Historical Society, not been able to attend any of the meetings because I have been in and out of the hospital many times, too many times. And I apologize for that. I should have had somebody to represent it, but I was more concerned about keeping my life than worrying about my house. So the main thing that originally when it was brought up, I can remember people talking about it and sitting around the paper and wanting us to vote on it. And it sounded like a good idea at the time. But it was never stated to the fact that there was going to be so many things that you can and can't do. The problem is yes, if I'd have been rich, if I'd still been working, I probably could have between now and then, even if I was in the hospital, I could have went ahead and fixed stuff and got it in under the, what do they call it, the grandfather clause. But I was not, because of how, circumstances that were very beyond my control. All I'm asking is that I know that in some ways that it's going to be a great thing for the neighborhood, but in other ways it's not, because they are very small houses. They are very old houses.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you for coming. Next is East Cleary.
Hi, my name is Denise Clary. I live at 403 Sloan Street. And I just don't understand the fact that the government will offer us incentives to make our houses better and more economical and historical. They won't even let us put windows in. It's not right. There's a lot of things wrong with this whole thing. It's going to be good for some, but there's a lot of old people, a lot of people like me that's been there forever. I've been there 22 years. Always did what I want to, never had to have somebody tell me how to take care of what to do in my house. A lot of those houses are rentals. You think the rental people are going to do that? It's not going to be a good thing. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Public comment. Item 6, briefing on the pension obligations. This is Presenter Chris Story, Assistant City Manager. This information on it.
Mayor, members of council, this is the next in our sort of ongoing series of briefings and discussions about the major factors that will drive next year's budget, so that we can have a little bit of information and share some information from staff's perspective that will guide our budget recommendation that we'll bring to you in several weeks. So this is, again, groundwork for the upcoming budget process. It's a briefing on the legal obligations that we have to the retirees of the city of Spartanburg that are in their pension plan. As you recall, we used this sort of graphic to talk about the 5 issues or 5 points of pressure that needed to drive our budgetary thinking over the next several years. And we've covered several of these, and we'll continue to do so as the budget process goes forward. The city pension system was effectively closed in 1994, and I use the word frozen here in this graphic. That means, at that time, employees of the city were given the option of staying in the city's pension plan, or doing, as most chose to do, join the South Carolina retirement system for their retirement savings and pension plan. And that's the option available to anyone hired since 1994 is the South Carolina retirement system. So think of it as frozen for almost 20 years. It is a defined benefit plan. In other words, the beneficiaries of the pension plan receive benefits based on a formula that was specified in place at that time, irrespective of the financial conditions of the fund itself, or it's an obligation on the part of the city going forward. There are only 5 active employees continuing to contribute to the plan, and those folks that are active employees, they are contributing in their paychecks each week. They're also accruing city-funded benefits through each period of work, and there are 5 of those, and there are 118 retirees and other beneficiaries of the plan that are. So in the larger sense of things, our pension plan is nearing the end of its life, but as you'll see, we've got a ways to go. Over time, the contributions from the employees and from the employer have been placed in a pension trust fund. Those funds' assets, it's shown there in millions over the years, those assets are invested in to produce returns to help support the ability to make the payments to the beneficiaries. As every public pension plan across the country, I shouldn't say every, as I would have imagined nearly every public pension plan, due to the economic conditions affecting us as a country, has lost value. And you see what has happened there. And as I point to the difference between last fiscal year and how we project we're going to finish the end of the current fiscal year, that's a flat line, those last 2 periods of time. Flat line is good news for us because we're at the tail end of our life, and so we're paying out a substantial amount of money that we'll talk about in the next few minutes. So we've had a relatively strong performance in the last year, but as you see, we weren't immune to the loss of asset value in the prior years. So we need to make some strategic choices about how it is that we will re-strengthen that fund going forward. Just a little more detail about the beneficiaries of the fund. There are 83 actual retired employees, 5 that are retired with disability, 25 beneficiaries, which are almost always the spouse of the former employee, and then of course there's 5 active employees there. In the last calendar year, we paid $1.89 million in earned benefits that those folks had earned through the course of their working life, and we'll talk about that going forward. This is a recently received actuarial projection of what the outflows from the city's pension are projected to be. Of course, no one knows what will actually take place, but this is the actuarial